everyone, Mike Mixon from Keyboardamerica.com and .co here in Lewis Beach, Delaware, and welcome to this Genos Tyros video tutorial on how to find the right style for a song that you want to play. This week's song coming up is going to be Sherry by Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, and this one was a little more tough to figure out which style I wanted for this particular song. So I thought I'd walk you through the process of what I do each week to find all the settings that you get when you're in my book bundle club. And of course, they're on the back of page 1. For those of you who don't have a Genos, you have a Tyros. The settings are there, but for the Genos, I do email the setting to you for each song every week now. I just started that last week. But let's say you want to learn how to play a song that you like and you want to find a style for it. Now this is going to be the whole process in setting it up, so it's going to be a great tutorial on how I do this every week so that you can make your life easier. Now, of course, it does take time. There are a lot of styles in the Genos, so let's get started and I'll show you exactly what to do when you're looking for a style. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is get on the bank that you're working on currently, because we're going to save the setting into registration memory as well. So I'm currently working on bank 5, and I've only used the first one in bank 5. And the setting for Sherry is going to go into registration 2 once that I get it set up for the song. Now, there are a lot of different styles that would work for this song. Now, I'm going to go into style here and into preset, because that's where you're going to be starting. And you know, it could be in pop, it could be in oldies, it could be in R&B. Oldies is where I went to find the style that I'm going to use, and it's this 60s vintage pop. I am going to show you how I came to that conclusion here, so that's part of this video. But we want to listen to the song or hum it in your head so you can kind of decide which type of style to look for. So bottom line is, it could even be in Latin here, because you can do a Latin to this as well. So there's a lot of different styles you're going to have to go through. Now, how do you pick the right one? Well, the first thing that I do is listen to the intros. So, you know, if I'm sitting here and I'm in 60s vintage rumba, and I always search on variation B. Now, the reason I do that is it's not too busy like C and D, and not as not busy as A. So that's a good one. So the first thing I'm going to do is listen to the intros, because that's going to be a determining factor. That would work for Sherry, but not perfect. Let's listen to intro 2. Now that one would work a lot better. But because I spent 20 minutes or so looking through styles, I chose the 60s vintage pop really because of the rhythm break that's in it. I know that sounds crazy, but your Genos does so much and there's so many styles in there that you really have to get to know your keyboard pretty well. I also determined, because Sherry has its own sort of intro, that I could use intro 1 on that and it would work nice. So that's going to be the intro, and you're going to be playing that. So that rhythm is nice, but we're going to have to also slow it down. We're going to get to that point. Now the next thing I'm going to listen to is Yamaha's OneTouch setting. Now this becomes important if you watch my saving to OTS videos step by step, because when you're in preset here, they're regular OTS settings that a Yamaha artist has chosen for you to go with this 60s vintage pop. So I'm going to listen to them. That's a nice one. 4. So I'm listening to what I'm working with here. Now, with Sherry, what's the big thing about Sherry and Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons? Well, it's their vocal harmonies, right? That's a big deal with Frankie Valli and how high his voice was. So I'm going to want to alter these. The first thing I'm going to do is think out what I want to do. And I really like this OTS setting 3 on here. However, I need some vocals in that for the beginning of the song, which would be... So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move number 3 to memory 2 in my OneTouch setting. Memory, OneTouch setting 2. It says OneTouch settings, and this is in my saving to OTS video, these next steps. Yes, I want to save it. I want to save here. But where I'm going to put it is on Mike's Genos user styles, because my customers get this stick. And I'm going to save it right here, and I'm going to delete 60s vintage pop, and I'm going to type in Sherry. So Sherry is right there, and hit OK. So now if I go to my user, Sherry is going to be under my Mike's user styles here, right here where it says Sherry. So to clear that up, just so you know, when you're in preset, you got the original OneTouch settings. When you're in user, you've got your own OneTouch settings to go just for that song, Sherry. Now the next step is I talked about some vocals because of Frankie Valli. So I'm going over here to my right 1, and once again, this takes time. I'm going to hit the black button above right 1. I'm going to put this on choir, and on page 2, once again, I listened to all these before I did it. I chose ba, da, ya to go along with for the beginning of the song. So it's... That's going to sound great. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit memory and 1 and save that right there. And once again, your OneTouch setting's been changed. Yes, save here under Sherry, and we're good. Yes, we want to overwrite because we want to overwrite and put that in there as well. So now I can go change my 3 and 4 as well, which I'm going to do. And that's going to make it nice. Now at this point, I can actually save it. So I'm going to hit my sync start. Get it to the right tempo. Okay, that's real good. So I'm going to hit my sync start. My variation A, because I'm going to start with variation A, and I'm going to press intro 1, and at this point now I'm going to hit memory 2, because I saved last week's song What's New in number 1, and I'm working on bank 5. So now you can see Sherry shows up here in bank 5. And I can just now finish setting up for Sherry. Now, it will take you some time going through all the settings to see exactly what you want. Now, I did something on purpose to show you how you can fix something. So we talked about Frankie Valli's harmonies, right? So basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to my harmony arpeggiator button, and if you don't have your assignables programmed the way I do, you can watch my assignable video. But if you don't have that, then all you do is hit direct access and harmony. Now I also listen to these harmonies along with it, the duet. What I chose was full chord. So I have a full chord on the choir voice, which is on right 1, and I'm just going to resave that now with the harmony arpeggiator on over top of OneTouch setting 1. I'm going to hit yes. Sherry comes up, save here. Sherry, okay, yes, overwrite. And now I'm ready to adjust OTS 3 and 4 to match the song. Okay, so now OTS 4, Yamaha chose these sounds here, the trumpet, golden trumpet, and sax section. And I like it, so I'm going to leave that on OTS 4. Now if I wanted to tweak it, I could go over and change the instruments a little bit around, or change the volume, and then just hit memory and 4 again, and all my settings that I changed would be in there. So all I need now is number 3. And of course, the reason we're doing this and changing the OTSs just for Sherry is so that we can have our OTS link on and not have to worry about changing sounds while I'm playing. So with OTS link on, it's going to start out variation A, and OneTouch setting 1 is going to be there, so when I start the song out, you can see it's changing. I don't have to mess around with anything but changing variations. Now what I have to do is figure out what I want in number 3. Okay, so number 3, I think I'm going to use the same one I have in 1 in number 3. So I'm just going to leave my 1 on here, and keep in mind I changed it to full chord and all my settings are there. I'm going to hit memory 3. And of course OTS, we're saving under Sherry, yes, and you can put anything in there that you want. But now I have my complete settings for the entire song for Sherry right here, and I only have to change my variation buttons. Now there is a reason why I took and chose the rhythm style that I chose for this. I told you that in the beginning. And under user, that was in the oldies, and it was this 60s vintage pop. Well, I listened to the original CD, and that's where I get a lot of my ideas for my right hand sounds. I actually listened to the original recording of it. So when I'm doing this song, there's a part with a deep voice where he goes, "Oh baby." So that's going to be pretty cool, and this is the whole reason I chose this particular one. So when I'm on a variation here, see how that's kind of stopped for that "Oh Baby"? It was really perfect. That little thing in the rhythm break button really made me determine that, hey, this is the style I want to use. My intro is really good. When I'm on my OTS, I've got all my sounds there. So everything's there. When I play Sherry, guess what? It's right there. So you can see how much thought goes into each song. And we're not even talking about setting your volume levels and everything like that. Okay, so we're not quite done yet. We did change the registration memory in the banks here, okay? So if I try and switch banks here, this is going to come up. The current registration bank has been changed. Do you want to save it? Yeah, save it. Save, bank 5, save here, bank 5, okay, overwrite, bam. Now I've just saved it, and now I'm going to go through the same process when I put my next 8 songs into the registration memory. Okay, so now let's take a look at our finished product. Right here on number 1 on bank 5, I've got What's New, which is last week's song. On number 2, I have Sherry, which is this week's song coming up. And all I have to do is press number 2. Look, it says Sherry right there. I'm on bank 5, and we're ready to go. Okay, so let's listen to our finished product and only having to use the variation buttons. It remembers the intro I wanted, all my OneTouch settings that I've altered, and we're ready to go. See that rhythm break comes right in, and as I go to C, go to D, and there you go. There's your settings, and you're all set up. Okay, so there you go. That's how much time it takes to do something. It's wonderful that your Genos will do all these fabulous things, and you just have to learn how to do it. But you really have to set a good foundation for the song, spend time looking for the styles, listen to the intros, listen to the variations, listen to Yamaha's suggested OneTouch settings to see if there's any you want to steal from that. Sometimes you might enjoy all 4 OneTouch settings. Usually they have a different song in mind on that particular style, so that's why I changed them. If you are a member of our book bundle club, last week we started emailing the settings for all of you who have Genoses out there. So for every song that I do, obviously the settings are on the back of page 1 on the music that I send you out with all the chord changes and variations and things like that. But you're also getting my USB stick with my settings for all past songs if you purchase a book bundle or book bundles. And it makes it easy now. I figured out I could email you the settings. So you just need a thumb drive, and you copy it from your computer to the thumb drive, take it over, put it under Mike's Genos user styles, and you're all set. You don't have to go through all that. But it is fun to learn how to do it, and you're going to want to do songs that are different from the songs I do every week too. So it's all a lot of fun. So until next time, this is Mike Mixon from Keyboardamerica.com saying have a great day, keep playing, and see you soon.